Snow drifts across a dim street in Hamilton. A lone street lamp flickers. Somewhere in the distance, a train horn moans through the cold night. People like to think Canada is cleaner, kinder, fairer. But justice doesn't change its stripes just because the air is colder. In the shadows of the Great White North, the same darkness lives. Take Gary Staples. April 26, 1970. He's dragged from his bed at gunpoint. Accused of murdering a cab driver named Gerald Burke, found shot behind an industrial plant months earlier. The police didn't have evidence. They had a jilted lover, trading lies for leniency in her own robbery case. She said Staples killed Burke for $40. Staples told them it had to be a mistake. But mistakes in the justice system have teeth. January 23, 1971. He's convicted. Life in prison. His wife sobs in the courtroom as he shouts, "I haven't killed anyone!" Kingston Penitentiary swallows him whole. A guard tells him he might as well learn to cook. He's got the rest of his life to figure it out. 2 years later, an appeals court frees him. Insufficient evidence. But freedom doesn't erase the stain. For decades, people still looked at him like a killer. Then, 30 years after the nightmare began, 2 law students dig up a buried police memo. It says witnesses saw 3 youths fleeing the scene. Evidence hidden because it might confuse the jury. Confuse the jury or free an innocent man. Staples finally gets an apology. Some money. But the nightmares stay. He remembers working beside 24 men who had killed, wondering if he'd survive the night. And he wasn't the only Canadian swallowed by the dark. Toronto had its own tragedy and its own target. Michael McTaggart. Elvis to the subway crowds, a harmless impersonator with a pompadour and a dream. In 1986, police arrest him for 7 armed robberies. He spends 10 months in jail before trial, convicted of 2 robberies, 5 years. But then, while he's behind bars, more robberies happen. Same style, same look, same method. A new investigator notices the pattern. McTaggart wins a second trial. Acquitted. Then comes the bombshell. 2 bank employees had identified a different man as the robber. Their statements were hidden in a second set of police notebooks. Notebooks never shown to prosecutors or the defense. In 2000, a judge exonerates him. In 2001, he gets a settlement. But money can't buy back the years stolen by lies. And then there's the darkest case of all, the one that shook New Brunswick to its core. December 3, 1991, the home of 73-year-old Rose Gagne burns to the ground. At first it looks like an accident. Her family grieves. Felix Michaud grieves. She was kin to his wife, grandmother to their adopted children. But months later, a petty criminal named Marco Albert tells a man named Luc Bonenfant that the fire wasn't an accident. Police dig deeper. They find the phone lines cut. The fire set deliberately. The body exhumed. The woman died before the flames touched her. Albert gives police 3 different stories. In the last one, he says Michaud raped and strangled Gagne, then set the fire. In exchange for his cooperation, Albert gets 2 years for robbery. July 7, 1992, Michaud is arrested. 1993, convicted of first-degree murder, life in prison. But the truth doesn't stay buried forever. 1995, the conviction is overturned. Errors, misconduct. A second trial is ordered. 3 weeks before that trial, Albert walks into his parents' basement, writes a note, "Forgive me for all my sins," and shoots himself. No mention of Michaud. Still, Michaud is convicted again. Another appeal. Another trial. This time, Michaud's lawyer, Gilles Lemieux, demands all documents. He receives not 250, but 2,750. Hidden reports, hidden tapes, hidden truth. One RCMP report from 1992 says wiretaps show inconsistencies in Albert's story. A secret tape, recorded by Bonenfant, captures Albert saying Michaud was innocent, that he wasn't the kind of man who would kill Gagne. At the third trial, Lemieux asks the judge to exclude all of Albert's testimony because the evidence needed to challenge it had been suppressed. The judge agrees. The case collapses. Michaud walks free, May 30th, 2001. After 9 years behind bars, he steps into the sunlight. He's lost his wife, lost his daughter, lost nearly a decade. But he breathes the forest air, stays awake all night to watch the sunrise. The first he's seen since 1992. "I was angry when I was locked up," he says. "Now I feel relieved. The justice system failed me twice. But this time it didn't. Canada may look peaceful from the outside, but in the shadows, behind the maple leaves and the quiet streets, the same darkness waits. Because when evidence is buried, when police hide the truth, when prosecutors chase convictions instead of justice, innocent people pay the price. But truth, even frozen, hidden, or buried under thousands of pages, has a way of thawing out.